guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the sunny side of Florida. Today I have a special guest, aka my husband. I also have a fidget ball. Why? So I don't want to do this video. I've been telling you that we have big news. Of course, you've already got the information where Josh was denied. I'm sorry, this hair's bothering me. Okay. Where Josh was denied for the religious exempt for the vaccine. So now we're on to part 2 of the video where I didn't let you guys know in that video, but it kind of hit us back to back, which was, I think, a blessing. Maybe. We kind of don't know yet. But I think they gave you news that, was it before or did it both just equally happen at the same time that you might have to medically retire?
I found out before I would have to medically retire.
So he found out that he would have, yeah, go ahead.
November of 2021, I found out, or the SecDef released a memorandum to all troops that we had to get the vaccine. Well, over 100,000 troops have gotten out of the military. They said absolutely not. One, we see what's going on. Plus, there's so many of us that are taking the shots that we get firsthand experience of what happens. Which is whatever. People, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. There's always side effects. It's just way too many people are getting out of the military, and now they can't retain them. That's why they're offering now $50,000 to $100,000 for career fields that can't hold their own personnel. Congress has really screwed up the military, and now they can't retain anybody. Everybody's getting out and dumping ship. So the U.S. military will very much be hurting, and we'll see where it goes. I have my own thoughts and opinions on that. But back to me, I found out October of last year I had sleep issues. You
guys remember, I did a video, if you've been following me for a while, and he was going to go overnight for the sleep study.
And I got the sleep study back, and that was like, okay, they can waive me for everything. Well, my sleep study came back horrendous. I have like 14 different classifications now under my name, and I can't be on flying status. I can't control aircraft. I can't do anything within my job or my career field. So they put me in the system for sleep issues, neurological conditions, and cervicalgia or something like that. Something to do with my spine and up to my brain. So I am no longer allowed to serve. I can't be on readiness orders. I can no longer deploy. And that was in October when I found out that, hey, I'm getting kicked out. But my body is in such bad shape that they can't release me to the civilian sector until they fix as much as possible. So a month later, that requirement came out, and I was like, no, if I can't deploy, you can't use me, and I'm only seeing doctors, and they're telling me not to introduce any other drugs into my body at this time, I'm not taking anything else. I mean, you're trying to require me to take something that still can't hold me in the military. Either way, I'm getting kicked out. So,
yeah. So that made his decision a little bit easier when 9-10 months later, we already had the religious exempt and we knew that that was something we were going to take place. But that just made it like confirm that it didn't matter either way, because why would you do something that you didn't want to do just to get kicked out?
To be honest with you, I've already had a religious exemption back from like 2018, so I put it in again to like nullify anything that would come back up, and I already had like a good idea that something else was going to happen in about 2019, so I made sure my paperwork was sticking. And did not matter. SecDef overruled everything. Everybody's got lawyers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I told leadership, they've seen all my paperwork. So they're like, yes, it's legit, but nobody's going to be able to stay in. Well, now judges and everything up at Congress, and it's been a crap show within the military. The politics has ran rampant, and it's destroying it inward. So all the people with all the experience retired and or are dumping ship and going and pick up 6-digit jobs. Yeah. So I talked to my wife and everything, and I was like, look, I got so much wrong with my body right now. I was like, I'm not willing to introduce something else to my body. I was like, they can kick me out. I'm already physically and mentally exhausted. I'm not about to put any other drug in my system because I'm having adverse reactions to every single thing that they've injected into me so far.
And here's my thing. Well, and you guys will just kind of follow this journey along. But right now, like, there's so much that they're finding wrong with his body, and all it's offered is a medication. Well, you guys know what I do for a living, or did for a living, and I'm not big on medication or medicating your body. So I disagree with some of it, and so that's been me and him going back and forth a little bit with that too, because Josh is still very young, and the stuff that they're wanting to introduce, we introduce at late 60s, maybe 70s, when you guys know we got like 20 more years to go, and that's okay if it takes a little bit of hardship on your body, but not at 34.
I got a good 20 years left. I'll be 50.
Oh, no. I mean, it's just not medications. Like, when he brought the medications home, I was like, dude, that's for 60 plus. Like, absolutely not. Like, those side effects that come with that, long-term side effects, it's not worth it. And it's also like, because one is like to manage his pain, because he's in a lot of pain. And you're just tricking your brain. You're truly just...
No, your brain... So I looked up, and I questioned the doctors about it, because one of the drugs I have to take right now is literally eats your brain. Like, destroys your brain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is the... Your body's supposed to feel pain. That's the way it protects itself and everything. I was like, what does it make sense for me to destroy my brain that later I have to sort of try to function with in order to maintain the pain? Well, they didn't tell me when I started all that medication, when I asked them about, hey, what's the issues? They told me not to worry about anything.
Sure.
And that was the... I even pulled up my phone and started looking up, hey, what's the side effects? The lady put her hand over my phone and pushed it down. She's like, don't worry about the side effects and everything. C's get degrees, guys, even doctors. And I don't care. All these doctors get fed all this stuff, pharmaceuticals. Who do you think owns the world? Pharmaceutical companies. That's what I learned within the past couple of years. They 100% own the politicians because they put them in place. If you look up one of the wealthiest people and businesses in the world, it's the ones that developed like Percocet, $70 billion drug alone. So just be cautious of what you're taking in, especially you countries with free insurance, because those countries are the ones that get pushed the most medications.
Well, in America, ours just cost a buttload of money.
Nobody can afford it. So what we go to, opiates.
But honestly, guys, I've seen patients after patients that's on like long-term, pain medication.
And she's talking about gabapentin. I'm on 1,800 milligrams of gabapentin.
And if you research that, that's truly for nerve damage and stuff like that. But it still blocks the same neurons in the brain that trigger, pain and stuff.
Tricks your mind.
Yeah, it does. And so when you go down those kind of roads, it's roads that you can't come back from, because like now, like, and I'm not saying that, but just for an example, like he can't handle, or his body will no longer, like, this will be too much pain, because his body is trying to block out all pain. And it's natural to have pain, and it's natural to be sick in life. That is defense mechanisms for our body. If your knee hurts, that is your body saying, hey, maybe don't go out there and jump off that trampoline, because something is possibly not still in your 20s. Which I know.
And the medicines work fabulous. Sure. Gabapentin, and I was like, okay, I feel good. So I stopped taking it for about 3 days, and pain that I never knew that existed, because your mind pays attention to the most painful thing, my body started attacking my whole body. And I called the ER and I was like, hey, something's wrong. I was like, I don't feel addicted to the drug, but my body's doing something. They're like, hey, are you on any medications? Whenever the medications, gabapentin, you can't stop. You can have seizures. Your mind can lapse in seizures because of stopping it abruptly, because your body can't tolerate the pain.
Is that not crazy? And let's just say beforehand, yes, he does walk around and he paces a lot, and my back is hurting or this is hurting, but to go from a pace level to I need to go to the ER, that right there tells you that because your body got so used to no kind of pain or even how to deal with it. So anyways, we're going off on topics. I know we just wanted to fill you in, but so now, I mean, we're kind of in limbo though. They could easily, the military, I'm not going to speak badly of them currently, because he still is owned by them.
So they want to kick me out, essentially.
Supposedly.
And either way, they asked me why. So I got paperwork the other day saying, hey, you need to take the shot and everything. And I was like, hey, that's fine. I was like, but you're kicking me out anyway. So medically, not readiness. And I was like, and the doctors have also put, they do not want me taking anything additional in my body because of everything that else is going wrong with it. and I should not introduce anything to my body. I literally have, I don't know, over 30 different problems with my body. And I got my paperwork the other day, and they told me I was dying at one point. He mixed my paperwork all up. It was just a crap show. Now I'm only getting kicked out of the military for one thing, and that's for my spine. Before it was like 5 or 6 things, and I have no idea what's going on now. So they're like erasing my medical. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
But we're good, because currently he is owned by the military. But after he is not, we have all that paperwork. You printed it out with every
copy. So if you're going to the military, print everything out. I almost recommend people do not go in the military anymore. If you question me about 5 years ago, I was even trying to push my daughters into the military, 100% hardcore, driving her nuts. But now I can honestly say, doesn't matter. The medical system in the U.S. is bad. It's trash. And then they're like, hey, don't you want to keep your benefits with the medical? And I just looked at the bunch of colonels in the room, and I was like, y'all could take your medical. I was like, I'd rather die. They just looked at me. I'm not about that life or that game.
We're not Tri-Care family anymore.
No.
We're not going to be Tri-Care family. No, but guys, it's going to be a lot more along the way.
It's the atmosphere and what's being brought into the military right now, a lot of benefits are going to change within the next 5 years. They already took away the high 3 retirement, so when you retire at 20 years, you don't get your full retirement. It used to be you got 50% of your base pay. Well, they took away that. Now it's like a 401k, so that dropped off a lot of people. Now nobody wants to join the military because they're seeing what's going on. And the politics and everything, the CBTs, computer-based training. Instead of doing work, you spend about, I don't know, 15 hours a week doing CBTs. And nothing gets done. So a lot of tax dollars are wasted, in my opinion. Not opinion, it's actual factuals.
Well, there's Josh's channel on how he feels on that. But the point of this video is, so possibly we're going to medically retire. Or possibly
I get kicked out.
He gets kicked out and they leave us with, which is really dirty, but I could see him doing it, with no retirement after 14 years. Or, I don't know. I just keep telling him God's leading the way.
Yeah,
I promise you.
It's meant to be, because it was weird.
How it happened. Together.
It was day one when the thing came out. They're like, hey, we can no longer keep you. I mean, it literally all lined up to where, hey, you can't stay in the military any longer. And then the next day,
med-boarded.
No, the next day, I got med-boarded, but I got, after that, I got told that, hey, it's mandatory to get the vaccine. And I was like, nobody's getting that. So all the ODA brothers that I was with and everything at that time in the office, they all got out. They all left. They were like, nah, bro. And they told command to shove off. And I mean, literally cussed them out. And I watched it. I'm not that type of person. I just keep quiet and watch. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go through this crap. And then,
but it lined up.
Yeah, everything just started falling into place.
He left me, or he's standing right here because his back is hurting and he can't. But the gist, like I said, is we are exiting the military one way or the other. Come January, his contract is done. He's not re-signing. He's not able to re-sign because he denied the shot.
Even if I didn't get it,
but medically,
I wouldn't even re-sign, to be honest with you. I'd have done right at 14 years, and to be honest with you, I'm sort of, my mind's done, and my body can't sustain it. If I continue, I'm just going to keep breaking, and it's going to be a lot worse.
And a lot of people, like I said before, was like, oh, Josh should just get the shot or just keep your career and this and that. 2020 changed everybody's way of thinking. I don't care who you are. If you're watching this, it might not have been that. It might not have been the shot. It might not have been something. Somewhere you woke up a little bit more, and that's just across the whole world that is happening. So it's just people's perspective, people's needs, people's wants. They're changing. And like I said, he was a diehard, we're doing 25 years, Michelle.
I wanted to do 30.
No, we ain't. I mean, that was a constant fight in our house. And 2020 just changed everything. So we're going to let God continue to lead this journey. I fully let God lead this journey because he gets pretty high. His emotions get pretty much going, and I'm like, dude, they're gonna threaten, they're gonna this, just be calm.
They've done that a lot lately, and it's just been like, look guys, literally the doctors have said, military doctors are telling me not to inject anything of that in my body.
Yeah.
Like straight up, all my doctors are like, do not get this shot. You do not know how it's going to react with everything that we're treating you with. And I had to put that in documents and provide all those documents to leadership. And they're tracking all my stuff, which is, that's fine. I don't really care. It violates HIPAA like crazy. But I'm just providing them, and they're like, okay, well, the medical program has to take over. And I was like, it don't matter if it's taking over or not. I was like, y'all don't understand what y'all don't see what y'all are doing right now? I was like, you're trying to make somebody that's getting kicked out of the military take something that keep him in the military, but can't keep him in the military. They can't
keep him in. Yeah, they're very much contradicting themselves. I read over his paperwork because they're always like, Bill, read this. Just read it. It's all running together. I'm like, they're literally saying you can't stay in the military, but take this shot because it's mandatory, but we're still going to kick you out either way. Yeah, I was like, you can't even make sense of that.
No, so they're kicking me out without benefits is what they're doing. And that's whatever anymore. I told them, I was like, I don't care anymore.
If you get kicked out, you don't get benefits regardless.
No, retirement.
You don't get retirement regardless.
Medical retirement, Bill.
Well, medical retirement, yes, but
you're just gonna take it all away. Even though I got diagnosed with everything, I'll release those documents when I get out.
That's what I'm saying. We have stuff to come once we no longer belong to the U.S. government.
And I can't get in trouble.
This video probably violates the U.S. government of what I'm allowed to say, but here we are filming it. So guys, just stay tuned. It's going to be a roller coaster. I'm calm. He's a basket case on some days. I mean, it is his career. It was his journey in life. What he felt was his journey in life. And so I can't step in with that. I just try to be the understanding wife. Just make sure you guys, you're praying for me because wives endure a lot. And just keep us in your thoughts and prayers for wherever God wants to keep us on this journey. I'm sure there'll be more to come. We'll see if Josh gets kicked out with no money and we're homeless, or if he gets kicked out and we actually can afford beans. We shall see along the way.
I love that life, though. You think
just eating beans.
It's just relaxing, nothing else besides the Supra.
I love you guys. See you in the next. Bye.